You guys asked the questions, so between me and Andre, we will have the answers on today's Q&A. Let's get straight into it. First up from Hala Madrid, will Real Madrid sign Neymar and or Mbappe?
Well, eventually they will, I would say. With Neymar, with Mbappe, I'm not that sure. But I think it's going to happen soon.
I think the other way around, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I just think, well, because Mbappe's got a few years to get unsettled, whereas Neymar's only got like 3 or 4 years before he's not worth 200 million.
But I still feel like the desire that Real Madrid has for a big name.
Galactico.
Yeah, Galactico.
Yeah.
I feel like they might gonna go for it next summer, maybe.
That's fair enough. So, moving on from that, Kalindu Hara, thanks for your question, has said, will Barcelona sell Ousmane Dembele and
Denis Suarez.
Denis Suarez?
Both of them.
Will they sell both of them? And if so, actually, we'll go on top of that. Abir Rahman has said, who will replace Dembele? So we've already sussed they're going to sell Suarez to Arsenal, let's just say that.
Dembele is in a bit of a pickle right now, going through a tough moment. And I'm not sure that Barcelona are going to try to sell him right now. I still feel like they have a way of
Do you think his value is too low to sell at the moment? Because no one's going to pay for someone with so many problems. Right?
Exactly. The thing is, everyone knows by now that Dembele is a potential problem maker.
Yeah.
So are you willing to invest, I don't know, 50, 60 million on a kid that going to probably cause some trouble into?
But they'll ask for more than that because they signed him for like 120.
Yeah, but can you see him going for 100?
No, but who will replace him though for Barca?
Maybe no one, because they have already Malcolm there. They have a couple of good kids in the B team. If Barcelona wants to go back to basics, to La Masia. But Malcolm is there. It's a winger, and I think it's a...
Yeah, true. Well, they could change tactic, maybe.
Probably, a little bit.
Anyway, Preetha Kadir, again, has said, we'll talk about last little bit of transfers. Will Marcelo go to Juventus? Now, this is something actually I heard last transfer window because of Ronaldo. Yeah. It was almost like, man, Juve's awesome. On the phone to Marcelo, come join me. Yeah. Like, almost like Ronaldo has the pulling power rather than the crowd.
There was that I see you soon friend. It would be great for Juve to imagine get Cristiano and 6 months later you get Marcelo. Not that they have a problem with the left back, because they don't. Alexander is really good.
He's been linked to the move away as well, actually.
Yeah, true. If they make a lot of money selling Alexander, I can understand why you go for Marcelo. But thinking on a long-term project, I don't think it makes sense to get rid of Alexander to get Marcelo.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. He's a few years older. Yeah. So, I think we'll leave that there for the transfers, but we'll move on to some club football. Starting off with Simon saying, can Tottenham win a Premier League?
I'm not seeing that happening.
Me neither. Super unfortunate, but thanks, Simon. Sam Marriage says, do Liverpool stand a chance to win in the Premier League?
Absolutely. Yeah.
More so than Tottenham.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll agree on that one. As for Ubisistwe Busi, I think I got that right. Can Arsenal break into the top 4? We won't talk about Premier League with Arsenal just yet. I think getting back into the top 4 is more important.
That's the main idea. That's the main goal for them this season. Judging by their own performances, I would say, every time Arsenal play away from home, that's a bit of a problem.
I'd say no.
I would say probably not.
I think that's the key. That's what's stopping them. So this comes perfectly onto Lev B's question of your top 4 prediction for the Premier League.
Okay, I would say City.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Liverpool.
Yep.
Chelsea.
Yep.
And Arsenal.
Oh, I'm going for Spurs.
Okay.
Of course I would, but I think it's definitely those 3 streaks ahead.
And then Arsenal or Tottenham.
Yeah, then Arsenal or Spurs.
Yeah, it
and
makes
then
sense.
United to salvage 6th. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Moving on quickly around the rest of Europe, John van Jubam, I think I pronounced that right, said, is Santiago Solari the perfect successor to Zidane?
Is the perfect solution at the moment.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, for now.
For now, it is.
There's got to be a for now.
He signed for this season and another one. But I still have the feeling that they're going to try Pochettino by the end of the season.
Unfortunately, I still,
I have that feeling. I think it's going to happen.
But it's more of a long-term thing. See, the thing is with Solari is I feel like they've taken... I don't think it's much of a gamble.
No, not at all.
Because of what Zidane did. If it fails, they can turn around and say, we did the same thing with Zidane, so
and it worked out, Exactly.
And it worked out. So they've got the history to back up their option.
Yeah.
And as for why didn't they get a bigger name, I'm not sure they could have got someone now. Apparently Conte turned down the job. If they're looking to the future, Wenger's too old. Zidane's not going to come back. Mourinho's lost it. Pochettino didn't want to go now. So the options weren't exactly there.
Yeah, I think
but moving on to Alejandro Ponce about German football. It says, can Bayern come back and win the title?
It's Bayern and it's the Bundesliga, so
Really?
the ties are really
Is it
strong
tied to
between those
Kovac leaving or staying? Do you think he could turn it around? Because I think Dortmund are going to keep going.
They've been in an incredible form, and I think it's going to be really tough to catch them. But it depends on some moves that they're going to make in January.
Like bringing back Jupp Heynckes, right? Of course. Whenever you just need a title, it's the same formula.
Their squad is really short. If you want to be in the Champions League and in the Bundesliga and eventually win the cup, you need more players than the ones they have right now. Because it's not only about the quality of the players, but it's also the amount of players you have
and the
available.
age, I think.
Because they rely a lot on Robben and Ribéry.
Yeah.
They're too old, and also it's remarkable that they don't have enough players in the team if you have 2 or 3 injured.
Yeah, their fullback situation was such a bizarre one.
It's dramatic. Like, imagine a team like Bayern, they want to win everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they have a couple of injuries, the squad looks like
screwed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I think in recent seasons, I think the cracks have been papered over, because even if they have injuries, they've been so good in the league and dominated so much. But now there's a bit of a change. They're finding out they're not getting away with it so much.
So I'm really looking forward to the transfer market in January, because they need to sign someone.
Yeah, it's been big. But we'll move away from league football for a minute and to the Champions League ever so slightly, where Ross Grayson has said, do you think Manchester City have a chance of winning the Champions League given their run recently?
Naturally, they do. They have an incredible team. They have a great manager. They've been trying hard to win the Champions League for the past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
So far it has been a failure, but they have everything they need to actually win the trophy.
So on top of that, Car NG has said, can Juventus win it then with CR7?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's the man.
Without Cristiano,
yeah,
they would be serious contenders to win the trophy.
Without him?
Without him. But with him,
yeah, wow.
They are...
Yeah, they lost 2 finals in the last 4 years.
They're probably the favorite team to lift the trophy.
Yeah?
Right now, I would say.
Well, funny you say that.
Because
Ethan Eckhart, thanks for your question, has said, who is your favourite? So I'm guessing Juventus.
Yeah, I would put my money on Juve.
I'm saying top 3, Juventus, Man City, Barcelona.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I can't see any massive challenger. So we'll move on to a little personal section. I'm glad you guys sent these questions in, because it allows you to know a bit more about us. And Diamond Plays has started with, which was your favourite World Cup to watch?
Favorite World Cup?
Yeah.
I will always remember the '94 one, because it was the first one I clearly remember.
Yeah.
I remember watching the games. I remember watching some players that I really liked at the time.
Yeah.
Roberto Baggio missing the penalty. I clearly remember everything, and it was an incredible World Cup.
Yeah, I think the first one I remember was 2002.
Is it the first one?
Yeah. I was 9 years old. Well, I was 5 in France '98.
You were not paying a lot of attention.
I'm not sure I remember too much. I remember Beckham's penalty against Argentina in 2002, but I have to say, and obviously it's going to go along with England's success, this World Cup. 2018 was definitely the most fun for me because England got so far. Yeah, in terms of what I think was the best,
as an Englishman, it makes sense for you.
I think the 2006 one had the best excitement.
I agree.
Because we had such a golden generation.
2006 was a great World Cup.
Yeah. Moving on to Liam Fitchett, and you've mentioned a few favourite footballers, said, who is your favourite footballer there? Doesn't have to be a World Cup, actually, it could be anyone.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah. I remember when I was growing up and I was playing football with friends and also seriously. everything I wanted to emulate was basically everything that Bergkamp was doing at the time.
Yeah,
every
fantastic
single thing.
footballer.
It was absolutely fantastic, and it's incredible. He never won any Ballon d'Or or any shit like that. It's incredible.
I have to say, for me, David Ginola, from watching early years at Spurs. However, I think Dennis Bergkamp is, for me, possibly one of my favourite Premier League players ever.
It's incredible.
And that kills me for an Arsenal, for someone who plays for the rival of my team, for me to admit that. He was just
imagine how good it was that as a rival, you still admire him.
To still admire him, The guy was just phenomenal. I could watch videos of him all day.
I do that quite often.
That's what we actually do. Thank you so much for coming to sit with me. Thank you guys for all the questions that hopefully we have answered. Of course, we couldn't get to them all, otherwise it'd be like a 3-hour video. Or maybe one day, maybe some sort of subscriber special. We'll do an intensely long Q&A with you guys. But for me and Andre, I think that's all we've got time for. So thank you guys for watching.
Thanks.